The title of this podcast is Do Your Questions Bring Out the Best in You and Others? Where am I going with this? Most recently, I have been listening to the David Brooks book, How to Know a Person. And in it, he told the story about a therapist friend that he has and how she has matured over the years. I think part of that is just working on herself. And that's certainly been true of me. Is the way that I ask questions now is completely different than I did before. And I've done a lot of interviewing, a lot of podcast guests. I do a lot of conversations with other people over the years in ToBeRe, as well as facilitating conversations at Mayo Clinic, where I have the honor and privilege to work. And he tells the story, and I think the story will say it all. And I won't have to add too much more to this podcast after I share this. Earlier in the career of his therapist friend, she tried to understand people by asking how others treated or mistreated them. As she matured, she found it more useful to ask, how do you treat others? How do you make them feel? This is the kind of attention that can change people, Brooks wrote. And I think about that and I'm like, wow, I'm hoping that I'm asking those questions of myself and of others is how am I treating others? Not about how they're treating me or how they mistreated me. And I think when you can ask a question in that way, it takes away the um, the likelihood, or whether it's intended or not intended, or conscious or unconscious, to fall into a victim mode. Makes it very hard to do that because it's not about other people in that way, about what they did or didn't do, but it's rather about what you did and are doing. And when I think about that, I would answer the question much differently if it was someone trying to understand how other people treated or mistreated me, than flipping it to me being responsible with how I am treating other people. Wow, that's deep. So I'll let you think about that. As you this time of year, you're around loved ones, spouses and children, and in-laws. Instead of like thinking about how they are treating you, treating the situation, think about how you are treating others. How do you make them feel? Whether that makes you aware of whether or not you're trying to control, manipulate, trying to get something, withdrawing affection, connection, all those things. Something to think about. I think with the practice, fortunately, it helps me stay on the other side of that, to where I'm being a benefit to others. At least I hope I am. And I hope you are too.